Do you want a little habit that you can do to stop yourself from being on your phone so much? Have you recently quitted video games or plan on quitting video games, but you can't find something to fill the time? Well, you know what you can do? You can read. So, reading is, everyone knows what it is, but no one really does it. At least not as much as we used to. And reading is literally like overpowered. It's like, especially when you read, okay, I don't know which one is fiction or non-fiction, which one's fake and which one's story, which one's real stuff. But real stuff like self-help books or money books or business, like those kinds of things, like real books and stuff like that. It's like there's this successful person who's like won at life, and they've literally gotten all of their knowledge and they've poured it into this book. So it's literally like learning. You're learning from the best, from the greatest out there. They're teaching you how to do something. And it's a book, so you get to choose what it is. If you want to learn how to be sales, there's 100,000 sales books out there. If you want to learn how to build a business, there's 1,000 business books out there. If you want to become a public speaker, there's millions of public speaking books. If you want to become an author, there's books on how to write books. In fact, I actually have one because that's some long-term planning stuff. If you want to learn how to become a craftsman, there's 100,000 books in craftsmanship. There's literally books and everything. The sky's the limit. So there's never not something to read. There's never not something to learn about. So if you have so much time and you want to fill it up with something, fill it up with reading. And the more you do it, the more it changes your life. And this is another thing. I can very much relate to this. When you're doing it, it doesn't feel like anything's happening. Like you read and you got like this information and then you put the book down and you're like, oh, what do I do with the information? Nothing. You don't know what to do with it. So when you read something, make sure to like take action on it as soon as possible. That's the best way to learn the information. To read it, okay, got it, do it. That skyrockets your learning. But it's also, the more books you read, it doesn't really affect your life too much in the now. But it's like, if you imagine this is your life, this trajectory, and when you read, it changes it like that. Like, it's not really much now, but over time, the gap gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So that's why it's super important to read, because the gap gets bigger over time and you find more success. Who's going to be a more successful person in life? The guy who plays video games and scrolls through social media all the time? Or the guy who reads a bunch of business books and those kinds of things? Who's probably going to be more successful? Higher chances it's the one who was reading the books to change their life. And now it's not just these, it's non-fiction. It's not just these non-fiction books that, teach you all of these crazy things and these new concepts and insights, but reading stories is also good for you. Stories inspire you. I've read The Lord of the Rings before. I'm a huge fan of it. An amazing book. It's like most people in the world know it. So I've read that book before. It's a really good one, and it's good for your literacy skills, your speaking skills. Mine were never that great, and ever since I read that book, they've improved by an extra 2 or 3%, and that 2 or 3% could be a major difference in your life. So don't cut out these storytelling fiction books. They're not bad for you. They're still good books, and you still should read them as long as you're reading instead of consuming short form content. And that's another thing. Reading is long form content. It takes months and sometimes weeks for some people, but it usually takes quite a while to read a book. It takes around like a month or 2 months, depending on how much time you have. Maybe it'll take 5 months, that's okay. But as long as you're reading instead of doing these things that is training your brain to have a short attention span. Reading trains your brain to have a longer attention span. And another thing as well, what goes along with reading really well is meditation. So if you meditate, the more you meditate, the better your reading is. I know I dumped a lot of information on you, but maybe you have to rewatch this video or rewatch some segments for the information to truly sink in. But bottom line, instead of playing video games, watching porn, scrolling social media, surfing the internet, try reading instead. No matter what you're reading, obviously not a porn magazine. If those things are even still around. They weren't around when I was born, that's for sure. Anyway, just get into reading. It will change your life. If you want to see more videos like this one, subscribe to the channel. I upload daily as often as I can. You can send me a message on Instagram, send me an email. I have a Discord server as well. Make sure you join that because I'm a small channel. Literally, I'm not charging anything. It's just straight up free coaching from me. And since I'm a small channel, it's basically a 100% guarantee that I'm going to see your message unless something like goes wrong in like the sending process. I'm going to see your message, I'm going to read it, and I'm going to do my best to help you. So ask me questions. But yes, subscribe to the channel now. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye, and get into reading. Oh, the little button didn't work.